A new documentary on bullying opens on Friday, and it's already creating some controversy. It's called Bully and follows 5 kids and their families.
The teacher was calling roll and said boys, and then he said girls, and then paused and said Kelby.
The movie's been given an R rating, and that has sparked an online petition to get the rating lowered to PG-13 so more kids can see it. And joining us now is Hirsch, who directed the documentary, and Katie Butler, who started the petition campaign, which currently has more than 450,000 signatures. And good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, Lee, I watched this film last night, and I have to say it was very both troubling as well as moving. Why do you think more kids need to see this and need to have access to it?
You know, I think that millions of kids are dealing with bullying day in and day out. Not only here, but abroad. And so the access to this film belongs to kids. This story was made not only for them, but for them in a way. It's sort of, I mean, you understand that in a way and speak to that, but we really think kids ought to see the film because it's for them.
What about the argument of kids ought to see the film? They could see it with their parents with an R rating on it. Do you agree with that? I mean, it is, I have to say from watching it, I could see as a child having the conversation with my parents and getting something out of that conversation because we saw the film together.
Well, a lot of parents have said, thank you for this film because I can go with my kid and then I'll have an opportunity or a framework to have a very difficult conversation that I've never really known how to kind of broach before. But a lot of kids have also written us and said, you know, my parents would never in a million years take me to see this film. Not even because it's rated R, but because they just wouldn't have the time, or they would choose to see something much more, you know, action or romantic comedy with their one night off. You know, like you just can't trust that parents will make that choice. I mean, but also like, you might not want to go with your parents, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and Katie, you launched this online petition that's gotten an amazing response. Why was it so important to you to get involved in this?
Well, I started my petition on change.org to change the rating because when I was in middle school, I was bullied for being openly gay. And when I saw that this new movie was coming out, I thought it had such a great message and it was so powerful and it could change the climate of bullying in the United States. And having that R rating definitely makes it really hard for kids to see it and really, really hard for it to be shown in schools. And I wanted to make sure that all of the kids can see it and all of the schools can show it.
How awesome is Katie? I mean, nearly 500,000 people have signed this thing.
Truly amazing. The one question that I had, though, I think some viewers are going to watch this and say, well, if the sticking point is profanity, if that's what got the R rating, why not just take some of it out so really it can reach a wider audience?
Well, we talked about this. I mean, what does that language hold for you? I mean, what is the meaning of it?
Well, I mean, that language is the language that kids use in schools every day. That's the language that they use to bully me. And I mean, everyone hears that. They don't go into schools and edit out that language. So I think it definitely takes away from the strength of the message if it were to be removed.
Words have power, you know, and if you're telling a true story about bullying, that actually matters, you know, because what we're trying to do is establish what it looks like, what it feels like, what it's like to walk in the shoes of someone that goes through this. If you cut that out, if you minimize that, it's one more act of society going, kids will be kids, it's not that bad. And I think what we're really trying to do is like honor actually what really happens to Katie, what happened to me when I was bullied and other kids. So
it's an important film, and thank you so much
Thanks
for being
for
here this
having us.
morning, Lee Hirsch and Katie
Really appreciate
Butler.
Awesome, thank you.